Dhiraj, thank you so much for joining us here at FF News' coverage of Sibos 2022. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Day 4 of Sibos and we've survived.
Yeah, I mean, I always forget that it's four days. It's a monster. So, Dhiraj, could you tell our viewers your name, your job role, and your organisation, please?
Sure. So, Dhiraj Bajaj, based out of Hong Kong, work for Bank of America. I'm responsible for the team that covers financial institution clients across Asia Pacific for the transaction services business.
Absolutely amazing. Now, Dhiraj, this year's Sibos theme is Progressive Finance for a Changing World. How are financial institutions in Asia continuing to innovate in this current digital environment?
So, I would say, Doug, financial institutions in Asia, from a local standpoint, have been innovating towards digitization since many years. I can clearly tell you that the clearing systems in Asia have leapfrogged into digitization for at least 5 to 7 years that I see now. For our business, what is very important is how do we view cross-border payments, because that's our core business. And on that, we've seen dialogue with clients move away from the standard MT103 payments that we've discussed for many years on the correspondent banking business, to the use of new technology, to how do we serve our clients in getting money from point A to point B faster, quicker, and in a more transparent manner.
Absolutely amazing, and I think that's what the corporates want to hear. And I think it's fair to say that the corporate clients have gone from having their payments and their banking expectations change from expectations to demands. So do you think there's been a surge in the corporates wanting to communicate with, for instance, Bank of America's APIs, and how is Bank of America responding to that demand?
Sure. So yes, that is true. We've seen a lot of usage and discussion around API. If you would see our announcement this week at Sibos around the huge launch we've done on Cashflow API, where we've invested over the last couple of years to build a universal API, which is basically on our platform called Cashflow, where our corporate clients can now connect. We've got presence in 38 countries with over 350 clearing systems with one single API.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a big announcement for us. It's been in the works for many years. We listen to our clients, and we've been investing in APIs for a long while. What our client said is, you are a global bank and you have a global reach with so many clearing systems, and can we have one single client experience when we're processing payments in multiple currencies? And we listened to them and we did it. We've launched it. We will commercialize it with all our clients, global clients, that have payments across cross-border payments, and try to give them that experience. Again, as we said, how do we move money from point A to point B in a very transparent manner and fast? The good part about these APIs, they're 24/7. They're 24/7, 365. It doesn't matter whether you want to process on Saturdays or Sundays. Doesn't matter which clearing system you want to get to. They're going to bring in a lot of efficiency of the payments process.
I mean, this is the kind of technology I expect to hear from a quirky fintech that has maybe 12 people and they start up. So if Bank of America is doing this, how do fintechs fit into this financial services ecosystem? Do you do everything in the house, or do you look to work with other organizations to improve your value add?
Yeah. So I would say the way we've evolved as banks, and some of it because we were challenged by what we call the fintechs, is we're practically fintechs. We're fintechs with a banking license. We're allowed to hold deposits. That is probably how we would define, when you look at transaction banking today. So I would say fintechs are a core part of the ecosystem. Okay, there was discussions in the past saying it's banks versus fintech. I think it's evolved in a very nice manner where I think we're all part of an ecosystem. We're all looking at serving a segment of clients with different, by providing different client experiences using multiple rails. So Bank of America, a lot of investments in technology for sure. We in the US, we have filed the largest number of patents this year, and we do that every year. If I remember from my numbers, it's 141 patents in the first half of this year.
Wow.
How do we do that? We innovate ourselves. We also work with fintechs. So we identify a lot of fintechs that could be useful for future cases in terms of how do we serve our core clients with the largest bank in the US from the consumer and small business standpoint. So in summary, I would say we work with them. We also work for some of them because outside the US, we're a large bank. We don't do consumer and retail outside the US. but we work very closely with them. I think there is merit in working with them because they will have ideas which will be useful for our clients. So we want to make sure that we are relevant for our clients from a long-term perspective, and we are providing them either through our own solutions or through partnering with fintechs the client experience that they want, keeping in mind what exactly are the client issues that we are trying to solve here.
Ultimately, it's the Bank of America client that has the best experience.
Yeah, that's what I say. We've owned the clients. We own the clients because we onboard them. They have their savings accounts with us. They have their mortgages with us, the credit cards with us. The whole
It makes
life cycle.
sense for you to innovate.
So for a cross-border payment or a domestic payment, they should sit with us.
Amazing. Now we're here today at Sibos 2022. As you said, the fourth day, the final day, the final hurdle. What's been your favourite thing? What trend have you seen that's caught you off guard, made you think?
So I've had a very large number of meetings with clients in these last 3 days. I mean, it's probably the largest. This is my 9th Sibos, and this is the largest number of meetings I've had. I think people are very happy to be back together in person. I think that human touch, we've been seeing each other on screen in tiny boxes for 2 years. So thankfully we are behind that, and the world is in a better shape as far as the pandemic is concerned. I see a lot of progressive dialogue. I see a lot of, kind of areas of partnership that the clients are, wanting to think about new ideas, use of alternate technology. So one particular theme that I think I've spoken in all my meetings is that the ambit of cross-border payments is growing. The pie is growing. Volumes are growing. As it becomes easier for our clients to make cross-border remittances, and people are buying on e-commerce sites and from all different types of currencies, the main focus of discussion is how do we make low-value cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more efficient? Because probably the old rails were not built for that kind of flow, but this is a new kind of flow. How do we all work together as banks, to build an ecosystem where our clients can truly benefit from the investments in technology?
Yeah. Suddenly we've gone from expectations to demands, and the bank that can provide that will be the bank that takes the corporate customers and the SME customers.
Yeah. So we've seen that. So the banks that are digitally focused, that have a strategy, and that have an open mind, that we want to build this for the future, not for tomorrow, not for 2023, but I want to do this for 24, 25 because this is what my clients will be wanting, and this is the benefit. It's about commercialization. You spend a lot of money on technology, but unless there is value creation, which the customer wants to buy, and obviously we need to get paid for that. I mean, technology is expensive, resources are expensive. It's how do you build that value proposition that will ultimately sell in the future, realize value for the client and value for us, and as I said, make sure that we are relevant for our clients in the long term.